Hello, welcome back. I fixed the taper of the box, and I think the channels running through the truck look fine. I'm going to go back to front and look at it from this side. Okay, so here's the deal. What we want to do, whoops, is we want to add the cab to the truck about right here. And we're going to be using some beveling or fillets, which you can also use on primitives. I don't think I showed you, but I'm not positive. And we're going to be just continue to sketch on the box and extrude stuff to get this looking more like a truck. So I'm going to go more so I can see the top face a little better, although I don't like those shadows. Okay, so I'm going to create another sketch, and I'm going to click the top face of this box, and then I know I want my cab to go corner to corner, so I'm going to use a rectangle tool again. I'm going to go from this corner, I think, to the midpoint of those grid lines. Yeah, I think that'll be good enough. And I'm going to finish the sketch. And then I'm going to go over here, click once, click again, and I'm going to do cab. Okay, so I need to extrude this up. I'm going to rotate my navigation cube a little bit to get it up. Let's go 30. And so now you can start to tell that it's a truck. It's a very boxy truck. You'll be pretty amazed at where we get to from here. One thing I want to do though is pull this, like if this truck went more like this, that would work. And I can't use the dial on the extrude thing because it pulls in both sides. And we really only want to pull in one side. And I don't think it lets me do that. So anyway, I'll show you the other method because it's another feature to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this line here. Now, being able to work with edges is not really something you can do with primitives, so it's another reason to sketch. But I'm going to click that, and there's something in the modify menu called draft. And draft basically allows you to lean one face in. We have to click the plane we want to go against, and then we're going to click the face we want to tilt in. And then when I do that, it looks even more like a truck. And you can just rewind if you need to see that again. So that's okay. Another thing I'm going to do is we need to put, well, this is up to you. You can, if you want to make a pickup truck, then what I would do is create a sketch on this plane, and I would draw a rectangle about the same size, but make sure you're leaving edges. I guess you wouldn't have to leave an edge here. That could be up to you. So if I finish that, and then you could extrude this down. And if you look at it from this side, you could pull that down a decent amount. That's too much. 20 is too little, so I'm going to type in -25. And when I click OK, that part of the truck's been dug out. Now, if you don't want to make a truck, I'm going to undo that part. You could take this face. This is something you haven't seen yet either. You can extrude any existing face. So I can extrude, oops, I must have had something selected. I'm going to click this face, and I'm going to go to extrude, and this will let me extrude it right out. So if you want to make a van instead of a truck, you could do that. If you wanted to make this whole thing shorter, let me click OK. You could click this I don't know if I have that other thing still selected. It looks like I do. Let me undo. You could take this face, push it down. You could take this face, push it down. Let me hit OK. You can see when you do that, you get this weird little thing here. But I'm going to push the top down a little more. So I'm going to click that face, push extrude, push that down a little more. And so now it looks more like a car than a truck because it's just not as tall. So this is an interesting thing. So this face is part of the body because it's connected to this face. If I highlight that face, because I don't really want this weird thing here, there's two things I could do actually. I could draw a line here to get, and then push the whole thing away. But you can also just delete that face and it puts itself back together. So that's pretty cool. So you can see that looks more like a car. So if you wanted to make a car, you could make a car. I'm going to undo because I do like the idea of making a truck. So I'm going to undo all those changes, but it's good to know. There we go. Actually, yeah, I don't think it's going to put the body back in for me, the trunk bed back in for me. So I'm going to create a sketch again. And I'm going to click this face. And I am going to draw a rectangle. And then I'm going to finish sketch. And I'm going to, I forget what that part of a truck's called. Empty part. I don't know. I'm sure there's a better word. So now I'm going to click this face and go down again, and that's what I did before, and I like to flip to the front so I can see that I'm pulling it down a good amount. And I'm going to click, right, -25, because that's a good amount. Okay, so I'm where I was a few minutes ago. If you think that your truck's not long enough in the back, like if you wanted to change dimensions, this is similar to what I was doing a minute ago. As you can pull this out. Now look, when I pull that out, it doesn't pull out the inside of the truck. And so these are the benefits to sketching shapes instead of using primitives, because it's so easy to use this extrude tool to just pull and push faces. It's super nice. So I like that. It is going to hang off of the rear wheel a little bit. I'm not sure. I might be able to move that. Let's try. So let's turn on this circular thing. Or let's turn that on, and then I'm going to double click that to open that original sketch. Come on. There. So you can see I'm back in the finished sketch. If I click this edge and right click and move copy and push it a little bit this way, this is still showing me the old box dimension. So when I click OK and then finish sketch, it has moved that whole wheel to the back. So that's pretty cool. It's okay if you don't do that. I just wanted to show you the possibilities of going back and editing previous things. But let me show you with this wheel too. So if I double click the circles to cut, I get back into that sketch. Then I can highlight a circle, right click, move copy, and I just want to move that a pinch. I don't want to move it 10. I just want to move it -5. So I'm going to type in -5. It moves back this way. You can see in the original format, these don't look very good, but since I've changed the body, when I click Finish Sketch, it returns to the regular body, and those two features have moved a little bit. So that's pretty nice. I no longer need to see the circles to cut, so I'm going to get rid of those. Let's see. I think I'm also going to push the faces of these up a little bit. So if I click here, push up, 10 is way too much. I'm thinking maybe 3. -3. Let's see, let me look at this from the front. No, I think I'm gonna like -5. Let me put in -5. It leaves one of those little hair things again. We'll take care of that in a second. I'm going to select this face, push this up -5. I'm going to select this face, push this up -5. -5. Okay, and so that looks like a better place. I guess you could leave the, no, we don't want to leave them. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you have to click the flat face of this figure, and then when you hit the delete key, that will disappear for you. So I'm going to click this flat face, delete, move this over so you can see better, click this flat face, delete, move it over a little here a little bit, click this flat face and delete. Okay, I haven't saved in a while, so let me stop and save. And I don't have a lot of time left on this recording. So I'm going to stop here again. What we have left to do, we're going to put a window through here. We're just going to do clean air. And then we're going to round the edges, and then we may or may not put wheels in, because this is more about playing with the faces of a sketched object. So that's part 2. I will see you soon for part 3.